I started doing that and some of the other things he taught me, and 4 days before I left, he taught me the power of the mind. And I thought how everything works when I understand the mechanics of it and how I can create what I want in my life. These wonderful tools have been around for thousands of years. Monks have been using them for thousands of years. You are not the mind where they arise. Our awareness moves in different areas of the mind. If you get the mind right, it works, and it takes the right shape. Because right now this is how your mind is shaped, and if I want to go to the next version of myself, I have to break it, right? I have to heat it up and mold it again. And this breaking process that I have to do to reshape it is really difficult, painful. I really don't want to do that. After a while, you have to reshape and then you get comfortable. The mind finds comfort when it gets into version 2.2, and then it has to break the previous shape again to get to version 2.3 that sucks. That's part of growing up, and after a while you realize that every time you move to the next best version of yourself, you're going to go through a process of readjusting everything in your body. Another system in the body is comfortable with the way life is right now. But if you want to move to the next version of it, everything has to be recalibrated. Your muscles, your body, your nervous system has to adapt to the next version of it. So you taught me how the mind works. He taught me the power of affirmation, which we talked about in the previous chapter. And he taught me how I can use affirmation to create in my mind, and how I can shape my mind to attract the things I want into my life. But you have to understand it, and you have to have the desire. That's how he trained me. The method he used was a little bit different. You have to do 3 things: short positive words, clear visualization, and feeling the emotion is the most important component, because emotion is feeling. And feeling is energy. Energy is magnetic. Tesla said that if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I think Tesla was a great person, and more than anything, he was like a mystical scientist. And if I were to elaborate on that statement, I would say that everything is made of energy, and that energy vibrates at a certain frequency, and what you have to do is to match the frequency of what you want, because that is harmony. And in the same way, if you want to attract something into your life, you have to understand what that frequency is, and then you have to change the energy in your body to match that frequency. And when you do that, you attract what you want into your life. It's just like old radios. If the station is transmitting 4.5 FM and you tune the radio to 4.4 FM, the music will be static. If you tune it to 4.6, it will be static again. If you tune it to 4.5 FM, the music is perfectly tuned. So your aim is to tune your energy to match the frequency of what you want. A lot of people talk about the law of attraction and things like that when their wishes come true. I understand it really well. I'll explain it properly. Sometimes I think the New Age world gets away with explaining these things as the law of attraction. Do this and do that and you will attract what you want into your life. But there is no practical step. So really understand the science of how these things work. Just really understand it once and incorporate hard work into it. These wonderful tools have been around for thousands of years, and monks have been using them for thousands of years. Short positive words, clear visualization, and feeling the corresponding emotion. Emotions are feelings. So when I say corresponding emotion, I mean if you want something, you have to match the frequency. So remember what Tesla was thinking in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. Everything is made of energy, and that energy vibrates us at a frequency. So if I want to be in tune with you, I have to feel how you feel and how the brain works. That's what actors do. Somebody has to play Cleopatra, or King Richard, or anybody. They try to feel that person. Even James Bond. James Bond has a certain way of walking and a certain way of talking. So many people, 6 or 7 people, have played James Bond. But when you see them on the screen, you would never say they are not like James Bond. They all have a James Bond walk, which is how they did it. They really brought their awareness into that space of the mind, and they started to feel the character. You know how James Bond sits, how James Bond speaks. You know the little things that James Bond does, like straightening his jacket. And then you forget that person is playing James Bond. You look at that person and you say, "This is James Bond." You try to change your energy to match what you have in your mind. That's what affirmation is actually. And when these two things vibrate at the same frequency, you attract it. Think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. You put all the energy in one place. You change the frequency of that energy to the frequency you want, and you send it out again. And this is something that is never taught. I always tell people that life is a manifestation of where you put your energy. Anything you put energy into will start producing manifestation in your life. So the best way to think about energy is to look at it like we look at water. If I take a watering can and water a garden, will weeds grow or will flowers grow? Yes, because I cannot tell the difference between weeds and flowers. Energy is the same way that whatever I put energy into grows. If I energize something negative, it will grow. If I energize something positive, it will grow. Energy has no ability to differentiate between positivity and negativity. Whatever I put energy into, it will grow. So your life is a manifestation of where you spend your energy. So the more energy you put into something, the more it grows. How do we manage it? First step, stop the flow of energy. Second step, conserve it. Third step, accumulate it. Take the energy that you have accumulated and invest it in what you want to grow in your life. We are not our mind. We are in pure awareness of moving in different areas of the mind. And I define concentration as my ability to keep my awareness on the person I am communicating with for a long period of time, until I make a conscious choice to shift my awareness to something else. So most people allow someone or something outside themselves to control where their awareness goes. So I'm chatting with you. I get a notification on my phone, and that becomes my awareness. Another notification comes and my awareness goes there. I hear a sound outside, and my awareness goes there. So my ability to hold my awareness on you or something else for a long period of time is my ability to concentrate. So the first step in teaching our children to concentrate is to really teach them the separation of the awareness of the mind. And it's not the mind itself, but rather the awareness of moving in the mind. And once they understand that, then you define to them what concentration is, which is to maintain awareness on one thing at a time. So if you practice distraction 10 hours a day, what do you get good at after 6 months? Distraction. What you do 10 hours a day, you get good at, and the reality is, the day is 24 hours. Most people sleep 7 and 8 hours. So we're awake 16 hours, and probably 13 to 14 hours we're distracted. Imagine how good you would be in 6 months if you practiced playing the piano 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you look at most people out there, they have mastered the art of distraction, and they don't even know it. Concentration is at the very center of all human endeavor and success. So concentration helps us to look within. First of all, it helps us to concentrate long enough to identify positive strengths and negative weaknesses. Build positive work to change the negative. To change the negative, we need to concentrate long enough to change the negative. Everybody can do anything they want if they concentrate. Your greatest contribution to humanity is self-realization. You have to elevate yourself, and you have to elevate other people around you. 50 or 55 years from now, I can look back on my life on my deathbed and say, what a wonderful life I've lived, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And that's what concentration is all about, so that you can really enjoy every experience in your life. And be in the moment means that you're concentrated. We all want to be happy. I think it's a reasonable desire, but I'm saying that happiness should never be pursued. Don't pursue happiness. Instead, lead a lifestyle that comes out of that consciousness. So I spend time with my family, and I feel happy, and I have a glass of wine with someone I love, and I feel happy.